Good morning, Faith. You're here early. That was really quick. I didn't even notice anyone joined in already. Just getting set up here. Let's see. Alright, well, today I'm going to be... Oh, no worries at all. I actually started doing the live stream with the possibility of nobody joining in because I know it's Tuesday morning and people have to work, so I'm feeling a lot better today than I was yesterday. I know I had a bit of a rant there, but sometimes you just have to let it out. But feeling a lot better today about everything, and hopefully we're going to go forward from here. I'm actually painting with the gouache paints today to make this video because of some of the comments that have been made on my channel here. So I thought that I would do a bit of painting with them and do kind of an update and give people a little bit more information about how I feel about the paints now, and hopefully maybe some of the people that watched the video that I made 2 years ago when I first started doing YouTube and doing reviews and everything, maybe it will help the negative comments go away some. So that's part of the plan here today. It's not meant to be a negative video by any means, so I thought I would just paint some flowers with the gouache and answer any questions if anyone has any, or we're just going to go from there. I thought that I would just paint some flowers, and I'm not that great at painting with gouache, so we're going to see how it turns out anyway. I do realize that, people are not going to be completely okay with everything that I do and everything that I say. And, I completely understand that. It's just, some people shouldn't be allowed to be on the internet if they don't know how to be nice to other people. You know what I mean? So that's basically my opinion anyway, and I really appreciate that. So I didn't even get a chance to get my paints wet or anything here yet today, but that's what's going on anyway. So basically I made a video about 2 years ago about these paints here, and I gave my complete honest opinion about how I felt about the paints, and people just did not like it because apparently Caran is one of the greatest art companies for making products and everything, and yeah, I got a little bit of, I guess, scrutiny. I don't know what the best word to use. People were mean. How about, let's just put it that way. People were mean. And they did not like the fact that I was bashing these paints, bashing the way the product was, made and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm back today. I'm stuttering here today. I'm back, and basically I'm going to show the product first before we even get started. So this is a pack of Caran gouache that I purchased about maybe 2 years ago. I'm not sure when the exact date of the first video came out, but this is a 15 set, and it's the pan, and there's a white tube of gouache in there as well. So basically my first opinion of it was a nice tin. I really enjoyed the tin and everything, and it's packaged very well on the outside. One of the first negative things that I did say about it though was that it's very hard to open. So I have bad wrists at some points in time, and I'm pulling very, very hard here to get this open. And as you can tell, it's just slightly coming open there at the end. And I really have to pull really hard to get the tin open. And it really shouldn't be that hard to get open. And my first comment about the packing, a negative comment about the packing, was that it could have been a little easier to open. For those people who maybe have wrist injuries or whatnot, it would have been a little bit easier for them. And the second thing that I said, I had 3 negative things to say about these paints. The second negative thing was I would have liked if there were names on the paints, or like names on the bottom of the I might want to stand frame here. The pans, there we go, that's what I'm trying to say. If there were names on the bottoms of the pans, it would have been nice. Especially for people who don't know the names. Like, I know this is an ochre color, and I know this is magenta and cadmium red and whatnot, but for those that are just buying it and don't know the color names, it would have been nice if there were, you know, names on the pans. The third thing that I had mentioned that I didn't really like, and that I didn't really understand at the time, because I'm new to gouache and I'm new to experimenting with this, is that this gouache is very it's chalky, and I'm not sure if that's the way gouache is supposed to be, because I've never used any other gouache. So as of right now, like, my opinion is this gouache is very, very chalky, and I don't know if it's supposed to be that way because I've never used any other kind of gouache. Those are the only three things that I had said, and what I had mentioned was that I think this would be a good pack of paint for people who are starting out for using gouache, maybe for kids, or, you know, just messing around. But I didn't think it was a great quality product for someone who was going to do a professional painting and sell it, that kind of thing. And people just outright just roared at me and called me every name under the sun. They were very, very mean. And so that's the reason why I thought I would come back here today, because I haven't put up another video where I'm actually painting with the gouache. Like, I have messed around with it myself, but because I said those three negative things about this, I've had to delete comments. I've had to, you know, even yesterday, this was, I had made a post on Facebook, for those that are watching that don't know, about that I was going to completely just delete my YouTube account because of all the negative comments. Now, I understand that everyone has a difference in opinion about, you know, different products and how they work. For one person, they may not work well for another person. You know what I mean? Like, I completely understand that. But, you know, as I had said yesterday in the Facebook comment that I made, you know, there's a difference between critiquing how I made my video, critiquing things that I said, compared to name calling and harassment because this person or these multiple other people had difference of opinions about this product, and they absolutely loved it, didn't find anything wrong with it, and hated me because I had those three negative things to say. So that's the gist of what's going on here today. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, Kiyumi. I hope I'm saying that wrong. Gouache is chalky because of the white in it. The gouache is very similar to most out there. Good quality gouache is Winsor Newton, but Caran Dash is also fine too. And that could be very well true. Like I said, I haven't used any other types of gouache. I probably should start painting here while I'm talking, so this video is not just everyone looking at my hands. The only thing, like I said, I haven't used much gouache before, and I usually use watercolors and Copics, and I just lost my screen here. But like I said, those were the couple of things. Oh, and the other negative thing I said was my the brush that came with the paint. As you can see, it's no longer in the case here. It completely fell apart as soon as I took it out of the tin. I didn't get a chance to use it. The bristles were falling out, and the little piece of the metal that held the brush together, like right here, that completely fell apart. So I didn't get a chance to use the brush, and someone called me stupid because I left my paintbrush in water too long. And of course, anyone who knows how to paint would know that you can't do that. But that wasn't the case at all, and I even explained in the video that it fell apart in the tin. But apparently, I'm a stupid person, and I have no experience with painting. So that was where that came from. So yeah. So enough about that. I'm gonna do some painting here today. Like I said, I'm not that great at using gouache. I'm just gonna put a bit of this white here, because the other stuff, I don't know if it's gonna, I haven't used this in quite a while, so we're gonna see what happens here anyway. But like I said, I can't really answer a whole lot of questions about the gouache. And the other thing that I found was a little bit ridiculous, I guess, is the price of this in Canada. I had to pay $100 for this little set of this tin right here, and I know in other places you can get it from anywhere, I think from $30 to $50, but I had to pay $100 for it. And that was one of the other things I said was, you know, for the amount that I had to pay for it, I probably wouldn't buy it again, because I can probably get a much better quality of paint, maybe in tubes, for a less amount of money for the amount of paints that came with this for $100. So yeah, that was pretty much, and that was pretty much my video, and I showed the colors and whatnot. So that's, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So, and like, I'm still learning about how much water to add to the gouache when painting, and you know, I'm fairly new with it, so I'm learning a lot about it. So, but if anyone's wondering, these flowers I have drawn here were for a Sketch With Me video, and I didn't get a chance to make the Sketch With Me video because my computer decided to go on the fritz and it deleted my SD card. And so this is not going to be a video on my YouTube channel anymore, so I figured I would use it today to paint these flowers. And like I said, I have no clue how to paint with this gouache perfectly, so I don't need anyone on here yelling at me and screaming at me because I don't know how to paint with gouache, because I know I already don't. So it's a learning process, you know. You can't pick up say Copics in one day and learn how to use them, say, like Bailey J can. So it is definitely a learning process, and I'm so used to using watercolors, I tend to maybe water them down a little bit too much. I don't know. And this is where I tend to get quiet because I don't know how to multitask when it comes to painting. I should have said, hi guys, welcome to the stream. My name is Karina. I completely forgot to do that, so I apologize. I just got right into the topic at hand here. Here on my channel, I post art videos every Friday, and usually it's anywhere from reviews to painting and no worries, Faith. Thanks so much for stopping by for the amount of time that you could. It's all good. I just appreciate that you were able to come by for a little bit. And I apologize if there's any delay in the stream here. There's quite a bit of a delay, I think, in what I'm doing and what you're seeing. I much rather paint with watercolors. I used to hate painting with watercolor, and I kind of sold all my acrylic paints to buy a graphics tablet, so now I don't have any acrylic anymore, and this is pretty much as close as I can get to acrylics. And so that's why I thought that I would get used to this, because you can almost use it like watercolor, but it kind of has a resemblance of acrylic as well. But it's a little... But it's okay. It's all about... It's a learning process, so it's all good. I don't know how many of these flowers I'm actually going to paint. I might only paint a couple of them, but I just wanted to pop on and, like I said, address the comments and the negativity and everything that's been happening here. If anyone has any questions, feel free to pop some questions in. I know we have some people watching in the background there that's not commenting, so I just wanted to say that I appreciate that you're here, even though you're not commenting and everything. Just want to let you know that I see that you're here. I'm kind of thinking that maybe gouache in a tube would be easier to use, because you can kind of control how much it gets watered down more, I guess. because right now I don't know really how much water I should be putting on this to get the right consistency. And that's one of the things that may be a little bit frustrating to someone that's new. If you hear any pitter-patter in the background, I have a couple of dogs here, and they like to be nosy and interrupt and everything else. So right now I'm using the yellows, and maybe someone who's watching may know what yellow it is. And it's very, I don't know what's happening here, but the phone or the camera that I'm using is not picking up the color as bright as what they are, because this darkest yellow that I'm using here is almost like an orange, and it looks very pale on the screen here. I'm not sure how pale it's looking to the rest of you guys, but it is more like a dark yellow, but it doesn't want to seem to show up that way. Now, these are supposed to be hibiscus flowers. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know the names of flowers. I just like to paint them. Hi Eric, how are you doing today? You won't see a huge difference in consistency as per water to gouache ratio between this and the pans. That's really good to know, because I am interested in getting one, I think it's Holbein, maybe Holbein or the Winsor & Newton, depending on what I can find that's in my price range, one of the two. A better gouache, maybe. I heard something that there's a difference between this kind of gouache and an acrylic gouache, so maybe the acrylic might be a better choice for me. That's kind of my thought. Gouache is not easy to manipulate. Stick with it. It takes time. Definitely. I've used this quite a few times, and even right now I'm having trouble doing what I want to do with it. So, yeah, I definitely need a hell of a lot of practice. I will not disagree with that in the slightest. It is definitely different than using watercolors or acrylics, but I really do like the effects that you can get with it, and I've watched so many other people use this on YouTube, and it's really nice. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, how in the world do they get things to turn out the way that they do? It looks really cool, and hopefully maybe I can get there one of these days. So I don't even think that I can compare gouache to acrylic, really, because acrylic is a little bit easier to manipulate than this. In my opinion, anyway. I could be wrong, and I'm not really sure. Like, I probably should watch some more videos and pay closer attention, but I'm not really sure if I'm supposed to be starting with the darker colors or if I should be starting with the lighter colors. So like I said, I definitely have a lot of learning to do. Acrylic gouache is great. All the benefits of acrylic and a velvety gouache format. I could definitely say go acrylic gouache. Thanks for recommending that, because I have no other art friends that use gouache at all. So to get a recommendation that the acrylic gouache would be better, that might be the best way for me to go. And I find with this as well, even if I layer it down, I'm picking up the color that I put down before, and I don't want that. I'd like to be able to layer, but it seems like you have to do your layering really quick as you're painting. I can't have that Like with watercolor, you can take your time to a certain extent. But I find that this is like you have to go, 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 and you can't really stop and, you know. That's my thoughts on it anyway, but. I had a completely different, oh, that's not the right color that I want to use. I had a completely different thing that I wanted to do in the live stream today, but after yesterday, I'm like, nope, let's do the gouache painting. Sorry guys, I tend to get a little quiet when I'm doing things. I can't multitask with art for the life of me. So apart from what I'm doing here, where is everybody from? What country or area? For those of you that don't know, I'm actually living in northern Manitoba in Canada. If you're new to my channel here, just popping in. It's nice to know sometimes where everyone's watching from. I feel like I'm building up the paint a little bit too much. Oh wow, from France. I've never left Canada before. We do have, I'm originally from Newfoundland, and we have, I'm probably going to butcher the name of this, so bear with me. It's Saint Pierre Miquelon. I'm not good at speaking French, but we have that little island off the coast of Newfoundland, and it is a part of France, so that's kind of neat. I know how to speak a little bit of French, but I can't pronounce it properly, so I tend to not speak French. So my my native language is English. And I just got paint all over my arm. That's great. Oh, 1 second, guys. My dogs are having a little issue. Hey, stop it. Stop it. Not having that, right? Hey. Not having that. Sorry guys, my dogs are playing and they get a little bit worked up sometimes. Well, acrylic gouache is just like working with acrylics, the water to acrylic. Is it acryla? Am I saying it right? It's acryla, not acrylic gouache. Much easier. I'm in the UK. Most of my ancestors are from the UK. I'm apparently a little bit of English, a little bit of Irish, and a little bit of Scottish. So that's kind of neat. I've always wanted to travel to the UK. I really want to go and see I really like castles and things like that, so I think visiting the UK would be nice for me. Hi Rusty, how are you doing today? Okay, I've got my dogs all settled here. I can start painting again. That's great. I want to say say thank you to you guys, first of all. This is the most chatting I've had, I think, on one of my live streams, so this is very nice. So I really appreciate that you guys are keeping up with the chat here and talking to me. It's really cool. I don't live stream that often. I'm still very, very new to live streaming. Well, that's a little bit darker than I intended, but we'll figure it out. I'm kind of watching the screen here more than I'm actually doing any painting, so that may not be a good thing. It's currently, what time is it here? It's 12:06 p.m. right now, so I'm assuming it's kind of evening for those of you that are in Europe. Okay, I see. It's acrylic binder. Gotcha. Gotcha. Makes sense. So I feel like I'm ruining this here now. Well, it's not too bad, I guess. I really wish the camera would pick it up a little bit better, though. 7 p.m. in France. Nice. I heard the UK got quite a bit of snow. Did that affect any areas? I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook that places got hit with snow and they weren't expecting it and whatnot. So it's. I wasn't really expecting a whole lot of people to come out to the stream today because I am streaming at an awkward time. Usually I would stream at night, but most of the times that I'm able to actually stream, it's when my fiance has gone to work. So it's more quieter in the house. So I take the time then to do the live streams. Yes, we did get a lot of snow, and we are due more this weekend. It's kind of strange to hear about Europe getting a lot of snow like that, because I don't think that it's a normal thing. Like, for me, I'm used to getting a lot of snow, and even where I'm living now, the past couple of months, it's been as low as -50 Fahrenheit. So we're living way up north in Canada, so it gets really bad here sometimes. And right now we have about 4 feet of snow, so. So what do you guys all like to work with when it comes to art? Do you have a preference in your art mediums, or? Would be nice if I had some orange here, but this is pretty much red. Let's see what I can do with this. Maybe just a little bit. I'm okay. I'm doing great. I'm doing great today. I'm having a better day than I had yesterday. Add some yellow in the red. This one here is actually, it's orange enough for what I want to do. I don't really like mixing paints, and that's one of my problems, I think, with using this. When I used to work with acrylic, I used to have to mix paints quite a bit, and I used to get frustrated because I'd either run out of the color that I was using and couldn't figure out how to make it again. So I eventually stopped mixing paints. And I know that's a bad thing for someone who's apparently an artist to say. But I really don't like mixing paint, and I try to stay away from it as much as possible. So when I went and bought my new watercolor set, I made sure I had like 70 odd colors so that I had a color for everything that I needed. I only practice digital drawings. I have a Huion GT 185, but I have no clue how to use it. I've had it for almost 2 years now, and I'm still practicing. And I use Clip Studio Paint, and I have Paint Shop as well. But it seems that I'm not that great at digital art. So I have a lot of practicing to do with that as well. So I know these flowers aren't looking the way they should. I have no reference in front of me. I'm just going vaguely from what I remember. I know they're not great, but it is what it is. It is what it is. We'll call it experimentation and just playing with the paint today. It's not meant to look real. Not meant to look real at all. Well, I actually have quiet in the house here. I have enough pets that you can probably consider my house a farm. Let's see. I'm just going to finish up these two flowers here really quick and then move on to another one. I know they should be a little bit more white than what they are, but I really wish I could play some music or something so it's not as dead quiet here when I kind of trail off, but YouTube doesn't like that. And I do have Twitch, but I don't have a lot of followers over on Twitch, so I don't tend to stream over there. Kind of feel like this ruins a brush too when you have to scrape away at the paint like this, but I probably should have just sprayed down the pans before I even started. This is just a Canson mixed media book that I'm using here as well if anyone's interested. It's kind of, Canson is my go-to paper. But we're even streaming for a half hour already. It doesn't feel that long at all. Yeah, these colors are very hard to mix, because when I go to put another color on top of one that I already have laid down, it's very hard to mix them in. And again, like I said, it's due to inexperience, so. I would actually do a live stream of me trying to learn how to do some digital painting, but I have a fear that I'm going to get laughed at, so I don't want to go ahead and do that. People can be so cruel when you're just learning how to do something. And of course I'm painting outside the lines as usual. Again, I'm just trying to, I don't know, maybe I should let the paint dry before I start trying to layer colors, maybe. Maybe that would help just a little. It is what it is. Let's move on to a different one. Something that's not yellow. We'll do the one up in the top corner. That one's supposed to be blue, so then I can test out some of the blue colors that's there. Hope you guys are seeing and hearing this okay. I'm actually streaming from, from my cell phone, and it's getting quite hot there at the moment. So usually I can stream for about an hour and a half tops, and then my cell phone gets really hot. I have tried using OBS, but OBS clearly hates me. So I stopped using it. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think I really much would prefer tubes to this. Yeah, I guess it's kind of similar to watercolor in that way. Now I'm going to get green. I really appreciate all the helpful tips and everything that I'm getting here today. Really appreciate it. And here I'm mixing this, and like I said, I hate mixing paint. Anyhow, let's test out the blue here so we can see what this looks like. I don't tend to like painting with yellow. My favorite colors are like blues, purples, pinks. I really hate painting with red. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way, but red is like my most hated color to paint with. It's so hard to work with. One bad thing for me about painting with watercolors and mediums that need to dry in between is that I don't really have a lot of patience. Not a lot of patience at all. Again, guys, I don't have any reference pictures in front of me. I'm just trying to remember what these flowers looked like when I had drawn them. We're not going for realism here today, people. We're not going for realism, that's for sure. I shouldn't say that. I'll probably start getting yelled at for trying to compare this to realism. This has been pretty interesting, though. I have a video coming out on Friday on my art channel, and it's a painting. I have it already up on Redbubble already, but it's a painting I did a couple of months ago. I'm kind of backed up on videos at the moment because I'm trying to get ahead, because I don't know if you guys have been following along my channel for quite a while, but I also have a vlog channel where I talk about my, not daily life because I don't vlog every day, but I'm going to be moving in a few short months, and I'm trying to get ahead on my videos. So a lot of my videos are going to be pre-filmed. So something that's coming out on Friday, or, you know, other Fridays, could be filmed a month or so in advance. But it is what it is. I like this streaming in the middle of the day. More people seem to pop around and say hi. Usually when I stream at night, I get like 1 or 2 visitors and that's it. So maybe I'll start streaming earlier in the day. You guys have any questions? You can pop in with some questions because I'm starting to run out of things to talk about. Maybe I should do a Q&A type thing on a video so people can kind of get to know me a little bit better. I don't like talking about myself though, so that's a little bit of an awkward video for me to make, but if anyone's interested in that, I can definitely do it. Just a reminder for anyone coming in, I'm not going off of a reference. This one is behind. I tend to start trying to use my paints. Sorry guys, I have a heater that's kicking in here, so you're probably going to hear that a bit in the background. I try to use my watercolor paints and everything else that I use, like using Copic markers, and I know that you can't do that, but my brain tells me to do it anyway. Those are fairly dry. Maybe I'll go over them with a pen or something. So if you're just tuning in, I'll just recap again about the gouache paint, some of the pros and cons and everything about the paints. And so I bought them a couple of years ago. Basically what I've said is that I find the tin hard to open. The brush fell apart, and I would have preferred names on the tins, but like I said, they're a great paint to play around with. They're not really, I don't think they're a professional type paint, but they're good for messing around with and to play around with and to learn with. But I would like to have a better, to me and from what I've heard, I'd like to have a better quality set in the future. So, and like the recommendations here today, I most likely will get the acrylic base and not another set of these. So, but they're okay to play with. Clearly, like I said, I don't really know a lot about what I'm doing, but it's fun using them all the same. Just gonna see if I have a, oops, I should do the stem on this one first, I guess. So I'm basically just gonna clue up the video here in just a few minutes. I've been streaming almost an hour already, so my phone is probably gonna start going on the fritz in a little bit. That's not too bad. Add some green into, is this a green? Is that green? That is not green. This is green. And now that these are dry, it's not allowing me to go back in with another color, and it's just lifting, and I should have just left it alone. It's making a really nasty green color, and I can't layer these at all. I don't know if you guys are able to see that okay or not. Let's see what's going on here. But anyhow, guys, I'm gonna start, like I said, I'm gonna start cluing up here. Just gonna draw some lines. I need a marker. Where's the marker? Let's use this one. I don't know if it's a good idea to go back in afterwards. Probably gonna gum up my pen here, but this book is supposed to be mostly for loose, sketchy things and not like finished pictures, but kind of getting away from that and working in it a little bit more. Whoops, I missed that line. That's all good. I'm going for a more sketchier look anyway, it's fine. I wanted to thank you guys for stopping in and watching, and if you're watching this in the future, thanks so much for watching as well. I'm still in the process of trying to get back into the YouTube partnership program, and I think I'm somewhere along the lines of 500 hours away, so I don't know if that's going to happen this year or if it's going to happen in a couple of years. I don't know what's going on with that. I kind of gave up, and it is what it is. But if I make it, then that's great. Then if not, then I'll just keep putting out videos like I'm doing, and you know, we'll see where it goes from there. Alright guys, that's pretty much all I'm going to do for today. I hope you did enjoy the little chat and using the gouache. Like I said, I know that it's not perfect. I know I need, I need more practice with gouache, but I just wanted to, I gotta get my paintbrush out of the water there before it gets wrecked, because I don't want to get yelled at for doing that again, even though I didn't do it the first time. But, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, yesterday was a rough day with comments here on the channel. This has kind of gone a little bit loopy here and shouldn't be tilted over that way. But anyhow, I'm going to leave it at that. I appreciate all you guys popping in and saying hi and commenting and providing me with all the great tips that I got today with gouache. And now I know what to look for in the next gouache set that I do buy. And yeah, don't forget to get that, hit that like button down there, or the little thumbs up dude, and to let me know that you enjoyed the video. Even if you're watching it in the future, a thumbs up would be great. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe and come back every Friday to see future videos that I post and any future live streams. So I'm hoping to be able to do this more often. And if you guys are curious on what I'm working on now before I go, this is a new watercolor piece that I'm going to be working on later today. A hippocampus, I believe. This is how you pronounce this. My fiance gave me a suggestion to draw it, so this is what I came up with, so that's what I'm going to be working on. But so you can look forward to that in a video later on in the next month or so. But anyhow, guys, I'm going to call this stream done. Thank you guys so much again for popping in and saying hi and everything else. And hopefully you can pop in for the next stream that I do, and maybe next time we'll work on either some Copic stuff or maybe a watercolor piece or something. Let me know what you guys want to see for the next live stream, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for popping in. Bye for now.